oh, you can't trust the New Testament writers because these people were biased. If you think about that for more than 10 seconds, you realize how dumb that is.
Based on just historical evidence outside the Bible, how would you prove? Because there is a lot of vague references to Jesus, like from Tacitus and some other historians, but how do we really prove it, like outside of the Bible, referring to other sources?
We're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow morning, but I understand the question, but it's sort of like saying outside of your several eyewitnesses and documents written by eyewitnesses in the lifetime of the eyewitnesses, you have a very poor case, right? When people bring up these non-Christian writers, and there's about 10 of them within 150 years of Jesus' life who they give brief references to Jesus and the apostles. None of these people are eyewitnesses of Jesus, but they appear to have good historical information. And when you add up what they say about Jesus, you get a story congruent with the New Testament. These people say that the disciples believe Jesus rose from the dead. They don't, like Josephus didn't say, I believe Jesus rose from the dead. If he did, he would have been a Christian, right? But he's saying the disciples believed he rose from the dead, or at least these writers do. They don't all say everything. That the disciples believed that Jesus rose from the dead and they were willing to die for their belief, okay? But all of that testimony is just icing on the cake for the Christian. And the reason I say that is because people seem to think, oh, you can't trust the New Testament writers because these people were biased. We'll talk more about this tomorrow, but if you think about that for more than 10 seconds, you realize how dumb that is. Why? What did the New Testament writers have to gain by making up a resurrected Jesus? They're Jewish believers in Yahweh. They had everything to lose by saying Jesus had rose from the dead. Not everything to gain, right? They got excommunicated from the synagogue and then they got beaten, tortured, and killed. That's not a list of perks, okay? So they had everything to lose by saying Jesus rose from the dead. They said he rose from the dead anyway, and then many of them went and died for that when they could have said, hey, don't kill me, man. We're just making this up, right? So I think you don't need the non-Christian writers. I think the most persuasive people are the people who were Jews who said, we never seen anything like this. We didn't think a man could claim to be God. We didn't think somebody could rise from the dead, and now we do, and we're willing to die for it. Those are the people you ought to say, they had everything to lose, and they're saying it's true anyway. I'm following them.